What's up? Welcome to another episode of Watching Paint Dry here on Another Letdown Media. My name is Zach from Another Letdown Media and the Adjacent Hex podcast. I can make words. I'll be your host this evening along with my buddy Broody Gambit. Broody, how's it going, man?
It's going great. How are you doing?
I'm hanging in there. First day back at the comic book store in the last 14 days, and basically nobody came in, so it was really, really boring. Other than the fact that I got my little backroom office cleaned up and tidied and ready to sort comics starting Tuesday. So I guess that's good. Like, successful day. Anyway, we're here hanging out. It's Saturday night, so that means it's miniatures painting day. I am currently working on the various and sundry Gears of War miniatures. I did the drones on stream last week. I did the tickers over the course of this week, and I quite honestly I was hoping to work on them tonight, but I got a little overzealous and finished them. So yay! So we're moving on to the wretches tonight. These ugly little fellas. Broody, what do you got going on? What are you working on?
I've got various Superman-related minis today. I figured I'd start with Steel, move on to Superboy, and maybe Mongol. I've also got Cyborg, Superman, and Eradicator, if I get a little uppity.
Very cool, very cool. Adam is taking the night off, probably. He might join us later, we're not sure. He cited some the kids won't go to sleep trouble. So we're not sure if we'll see him or not, but there you are. At least you got two of us. Yay! Yeah, so let's have some fun. So I did some color mapping on this guy earlier. I think he's more or less the same as the drones. Unfortunately, my phone is like about to die here, so I don't know how useful the Citadel color map is going to be tonight. Maybe just kind of winging it, which, I mean, fine. Starting out per usual. Hey, RPD. Actually, you know what? You know what I can do? Well, I've still got 9% battery left. I can take screenshots of the colors that I need to use and send them to my PC, or to my Mac. Because AirDrop is a thing. There's another one. It's just the one.
RPD's got a point about Adam telling his kids to go to bed.
So he's telling his kids to go to bed, and I'm sure at least one.
I'm sure at least one of them. I'm sure they haven't even told him bad puns.
Probably not. Although Freya has been known to occasionally drop a good one, by accident, of course.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can airdrop those to the Mac. Yes. Awesome. Okay. I have airdropped the photos and screenshots of the colors I need to use to my Mac, so in case I forget, I can always look them up.
Oh.
Well, I guess
improvise and adapt.
Yep, exactly. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and start that right away. It is Rhinox hide. Okay, I definitely did grab the wrong pot of paint. Good thing I looked.
So for Steel here, I've got Lead Belcher.
Of course.
And that's pretty much going over literally everything.
Yeah.
Because he's all metal.
Yep, he sure is that.
I will need to do some red for the cape, but...
Right. So this is Steel the same character that's on Legends of Tomorrow then, yeah? Technically.
He was not in Legends... he was not in Legends of Tomorrow when I stopped watching, so I have no idea. But it's John Henry Irons.
Okay, so it's Nate Haywood in Legends of Tomorrow.
Okay. Oh no, never mind. Okay, so yeah. He was on when I before I stopped watching. I just like the historian guy.
Yes, yeah.
I never actually thought of him as an analog for John Henry.
Yeah, I didn't either. And then all of a sudden, oh wait, he's Steel. I'm like, okay. We will run with that. He's been really fun. Like, whatever season just ended, he was a lot of fun this season.
I've really enjoyed a lot of his interactions with Ray Palmer in that show. I thought they played well off each other. Are
you planning on watching more of it, or are you done?
I'm kind of I'm not opposed to watching more of it if I had time or anything like that. It just kind of fell to the wayside with a lot of the Arrowverse.
That's
like the
very
past few
fair.
Years. So yeah, if you want to discuss or talk about any of that stuff, feel free.
Okay.
It's off my back.
So Ray Palmer has left the building.
Okay, yeah, I knew that happened after, during this crisis.
Yeah.
Where he came back and played as Superman.
Yes. It was actually shortly thereafter that he departed. What about Shaq? RPD says. And it was super sad. Like, I definitely did not want him to go. I don't think Brandon Routh wanted him to go. It was really disappointing.
Yeah, I read a lot that Brandon Routh didn't want to leave either, so...
He was far and away my favorite part of that show. I think, oddly, Zari Tarazi is my favorite of the Legends now. She's just the most interesting.
Who's that?
Zari. The Wind.
Oh, yeah, I did not see her.
Okay, yeah, she's just more interesting than the rest of the characters. Like, I feel like Sarah Lance has kind of run her course.
Yeah.
She's a good captain, and it'll be interesting. Like, she got written out at the end of this season, so it'll be interesting to see. I'll be interested to see where they go with it. When I say written out, like, she's not dead or removed from the show. She's not leaving, but the plot is centered around her departure in one way or another. I'm not really sure where that's going, because obviously it's just a sort of cliffhanger. But
yeah. You know who I miss from that show?
Hey?
Wentworth Miller.
Yeah. So I made a D&D character.
For Wentworth Miller, he was outstanding as Captain Cold.
Oh my god,
I loved him in Flash,
good.
and I loved him in Legends.
Yeah.
It was very sad that he really only lasted one season as a hero, and then they did shenanigans to bring him back as the villain in season 2.
Yeah, I mean, so I really liked his performance, so much so that I made a D&D character. Based on Sush.
Yeah. And like, I like a lot of stuff that he's in just in general. Like, I find him very amusing.
Oh yeah.
Like, even Resident Evil 4.
I think it was 4.
I think it was the movie where he played Redfield.
Yeah.
Like, I just loved it. Even, I mean, a lot of those Resident Evil movies are just kind of popcorny schlock films.
Right.
But still very entertaining.
Yeah.
And then Prison Break I also really enjoyed.
Okay, I haven't seen, Prison Break. But I've heard good things. One of my coworkers has a giant crush on Wentworth Miller, so like, she actually went as far as to watch The Flash and try to understand it. Having no, like, preconceived idea of what to expect. And she was like texting me like, okay, who is this and why do I care? Constantly. And yet the movies have nothing to do with the game Resident Evil 5 in terms of popcorn schlock. True. So I'm taking a bit of a risk here with these wretches. Instead of doing the flat, pale flesh, there's a couple of areas that I'm doing in a different tone. So I'm actually going as far as to blend base coats a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Which is going to be really interesting to see how this plays out. Also being really sloppy with this coat, knowing that I'm going to go over it. Looks like his cheeks. And like, actually I guess across his mouth entirely. And then his chin. I think these are going to look pretty gnarly, though. I don't think they have a single moment on par with Chris Redfield punching a boulder out of the way and everything RE5 Wesker does and says, yeah, it's true, RPD.
Cat.
Uh-oh.
Pardon me for a minute.
You're good.
Get away from that.
Cats, of course, being the bane of any painter's existence.
Yeah, she wanted attention, so she went over to my storage solution of Arkham cards and started pulling things out.
Oh no!
And now she's trying to climb through my terrain in my game table.
Oh, lovely. So, while I was at work today, I was looking at the playmat for Arkham 3rd Edition.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering very strongly now if it's worth grabbing for 2nd Edition, just to put down on the table.
Is the layout like the same?
No, not at all. I mean, it's just a picture mat. There's nothing special about it.
Okay.
So I'm thinking I might do it next time we're all at the store and able to play.
Well, that was easy.
Is he done?
Yep.
Nice.
At least the base coat is.
Yeah.
So now I'm just going to throw in some red wash on the cape and some Nuln Oil on the body, and let that dry before I try and do a touch of highlights.
Right on, right on.
Debating between Runefang Steel or Ironbreaker,
though. Since I have both of those next to me, I will give you some suggestions. I would do Ironbreaker.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was leaning to. Runefang, I think, is a little too light.
Yep. This one. Okay, that's. Oh. Okay. Raktarth Flesh. Rakarth. What the heck is a Rakarth? Actually, I think that's going to work. I think my gamble's going to pay off.
That's always nice.
Yeah. My broody gamble. Go to bed, RPD. Well, I mean, you seeded it, man. Like, of course, once you tell me that I'm going to tell you to do that, now I'm looking for an excuse, right? Yeah, that's gonna look all right.
How dry is this cake? It looks good. A little tiny bit.
Boy, the F-Zero soundtrack is really short. That's what we were listening to at the beginning of the show. So, as of noontime today, the guitar that I've been waiting for is in Chelmsford, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Implying that maybe it shows up on time?
Is it supposed to be there like what, Monday?
Monday, yeah.
Yeah, my game shelf extension was supposed to be here yesterday.
Uh-huh.
But then I got an email at like 4 o'clock. It's like, yeah, you know what? It'll be there Monday. I was like, okay, thanks, guys.
Yeah, great. Nice. It occurs to me just how bizarre the Locust are anatomically, painting these minis. They come out of holes in the ground. We don't really know how or why. And they're wearing armor. At least in the first game. Later on in the series, we start seeing Locusts without armor, that are slightly more freshly spawned. But I'm like, wait a minute, doesn't that seem a little backwards?
That they're digging out of the ground in armor?
Yeah.
But then they don't have some sort of like digging machine or anything like that?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, they have Big Locust. They're very Zerg-like.
Not really good right now, I don't
They
think.
come out of holes because where else is the grenade supposed to go? What does he have for... Is he just naked? Well, I think there's bits of metal. These are the most bizarre models. This stream is not safe for work for locust nudity. No, he's got like a weird loincloth on. Or like chastity belt sort of system. They just keep getting weirder, yeah, for real, RPD. It's happy Mega Man music. Oops. I think that's supposed to be a strap of some kind. So I will fix that.
I love the fact that the Superboy model is like the most 90s version of Superboy ever,
Yeah,
and I love it. It's like the leather jacket with the sunglasses and the yeah.
right. Alright. One of those weird situations where primer was obscuring what I was trying to paint.
Terrorberg Crimson.
Carisberg Crimson is awesome.
Yep.
That's what you're using on the red
Yep.
business? Yeah. I will be using some of that in a moment also, I believe. Yes. So the objective here is if I can crash through these wretches tonight, I should be able to start on some more interesting Locust next week. Although I do have to say the tickers were a lot more fun than I expected them to be.
Which ones are the tickers?
The little ones that like run up to you and then explode.
Okay, that's kind of what I figured from the name.
Yeah. I will be honest, basing them was an absolute pain in the dork, though.
Yeah.
Like, because they're so low to the ground, there's hardly any clearance for the little scrapey tool that I use to put the texture paint in.
Mm-hmm. Man, this model is great.
Huh?
This model is great. He's got like studded knee pads, studded belt.
Oh my god.
Like the leather jacket's like 3/4 sleeves.
That's ridiculous, and I love it. This one weird corner on his knee that I can't quite get. I'm trying to paint it by camera. It's not working. All right. CAC base code. Seems to me as though a job for Steel Agent Drab. And a smaller brush. Like I said, painting these models is bringing up so many bizarre questions, like, how did the Locust invent canvas? Or guns, for that matter. Like, I know some of them use Lancers, which is Cogtech, but... Or... nebulously Damon Baird tech, but... So last week, you guys, you mentioned that your work is back full open, yeah?
Yeah.
How's that going?
It's crazy. But because we're trying to catch up with everything that we were doing. And we have other studies and things going on, like we're actually got stuff to treat some of our monkeys that have cancer. So we're able to start those treatments, and that's very important to do.
Yeah.
Like sadly we got one in, or had one for a while, but we couldn't do treatment because of the quarantine shutdown. We couldn't get the drugs and stuff shipped to us, and we ended up having to euthanize her.
Oh no.
But we've got some stuff now, and they're going in for scans and other stuff next week that we'll be able to start and hopefully help them out a bit.
That's good. That's good.
And then our more standard, like, care stuff is also ramping back up, and we were in the middle of doing like CT scans to check for any lung issues on our group, and they're able to get rolling now.
Oh, good.
Also.
Good. It's kind of funny how, you know, my work ends and yours opens back up.
Yeah.
I'll never quite get over how astonishing the transition between working with the kids every day and suddenly not summer vacation is. Like, I miss them almost immediately. Even though we've been working remotely, like, I still got to see their faces every day, you know?
Yeah.
Or at least some of them. Ugh. Man, these guys are ugly. Oh, right. They've got, like, ties on there. Okay. They found them in the ground in ore form and refined them into the guns you see now, and mine remains as nailed down and unchanged as... Alright. I just adjust, but it wouldn't be... Yeah, no, exactly, yeah. Definitely not the strangest thing. Okay, cool. Time to get experimental with silver. Or do I just want to go with gray here? Like in this game I used to play Kingdom of Loathing, there was a mining for vinyl, linoleum, and chrome. Yeah, sure. Those are things you can mine.
There are so many fine details around Superboy's face.
Oh, really?
Yeah, between like his hand pulling down his sunglasses just below his face, so you can like just barely see his eyes behind it.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm trying to like get around his hair and his sunglasses and his hands and everything all at once.
Uh-huh.
While also getting down like a thick enough layer.
Right. Okay. The key here is I'm not painting a cog. So if anything, if this is indeed metal, it's dirty metal. Implying that I need to start with a base coat of dryad bark. And we'll do a couple of little things in silver. Yeah. Yeah, that's suitably disgusting. Probably need a different brush here. Now, Yeah, I think I'm happy with this. More or less. Just have to dingy up this metal a little bit. I've been using this really weird, like, reverse weathering technique on these minis that's actually paying off pretty well.
Yeah? What do you mean reverse weathering?
Basically, like, even though Leadbelcher is a base paint, I paint things like a brown or a gray first, and then just kind of slop a little bit of Leadbelcher here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I go back over it with a dry brush, it's like an extremely dry brush.
Yeah.
To bring back some of that filth. It just gives me, it seems to give me a little bit more control over where the Leadbelcher lands. Did I have Alex make a weather machine? No. No, RPD, I had Baird do it. It's the DB weather machine. Alright, I think that's pretty much it for base coating. Sure, why not? Inks, and we'll move on to the next one. So that's why grumpy rumbling without any actual thunder is the default weather. Yes. Yes, indeed. Is that what I did? No, I did. Is he still alive? Yes. Decisions. I hate making decisions, Birdie. Guess we're gonna go with Nuln Oil. When in doubt, Nuln Oil. Yep, okay, it worked. Decision made. We're fine. We're all fine here. Everything is fine. Oh yeah, that looks terrific. I'm happy. There's so many like pockets and dimples in their skin, in the skin of these models, that whatever ink I used is going to pool up really, really heavily. So while on the drones I used the sepia, I ended up using, I'm using the Nuln Oil here in addition to the crimson on the redder parts. Hopefully that'll give me the desired result once dry. I believe it will. I would say 96% positive that it'll do what I want it to do. See how that goes. Oops. Uh-oh. Oh, there it is. Hey, that looks cool. Unexpected results. Might hit that with Nuln Oil later, but we shall see. Since Adam's not here. Oh, yeah. For sure. RPD, go ahead. I was going to mention that. and then I forgot.
What's up?
Oh, RPD was going to talk about some Hearts stuff. Because Adam's not here. So he feels a little more comfortable doing that. Maybe a little too red. I can dull it out with no oil though. And actually I'm gonna dry brush it so that'll dull a lot of that. I think I'm happy with him. Obviously he's got it dry, but I think he looks pretty okay though. I feel like I owe you an answer to the what concept could possibly demand a 7-ish way divided or modular. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I definitely want to know the answer to that. You go over there. Realizing there's a couple places I didn't post that we were live. Shoot. So for one of the original, oh dear. Okay. So one of the original small villains I have is a failed actor called the Player King, a master of disguise whose main job is mostly to be a body double for other villains starting in 1988 to 2001. Okay. was that?
I'm to some of the more intricate parts of Superboy's costume, and I've gotten to the point where I need to draw his shoelaces.
Oh my god. Man, I miss
So-
doing shoelaces. Like, what was it I was doing? A bunch of... I did a really good set of shoelaces on the Violet Heart mini. I used to have to do them a lot more frequently, though. I don't remember why. He makes his return in the 2004 to Oblivion version and is essentially gets his mind broken by Apostate and is only stopped by being turned into a demon by Jack using his powers to basically overwrite Apostate's mental coding, for lack of a better term. Yep, I gotcha. Though this sends him into a coma since Jack pre-Oblivion doesn't know how his powers work from his perspective. He's just using the power of inspirational speeches. Oh, right on. Big dumb speech, RPD. Which I realize is not as funny for you as it is for Twitson.
Oh, is Greg here watching?
No, it's just RPD.
Okay.
Big dumb speech is an ability that Greg's Sentinel's character has.
Hmm.
Yeah, big dumb speeches are funny.
That just about does it for Superboy.
Nice.
The last thing I've got to do is do a little freehanding to just add in as much little lead belcher for studs as I want in order to maximize the 90s.
Absolutely. Maximum 90s.
Let's say it's kind of a shame Adam's not here for this.
I know, right? Oh, I'm gonna relax for a minute. My eyes are burning today. Even with my yellow glasses on.
Let's see, some shoulder pads. A little bit to the belt buckle on the jacket.
Post of Levin, we learn that he's been taken in by the Challenger Initiative, and while conscious again, he essentially has a many-way split personality, each of which being a different practice villain for new challengers and sleeve ace in case Challengers HQ needs defending, none of which are the player king until further developments down the line. Okay. Wow, I am way more tired than I thought I was today.
You said you pretty much spent the day at the store?
Yeah. But I think some of it comes from abruptly switching my sleep schedule. I'd been staying up a lot later because I didn't have anything to do the next day.
Yeah.
And today I actually had to wake up at a human hour. Not that I was doing anything productive staying up late. I was just like, well, I guess reading is productive. Although lately I've just been watching television. And like TV reruns that I've seen a zillion times. Like I'm not actually watching anything new.
This part is pretty frustrating. He's got so many just like subtle color changes and variances. That trying to wash around a lot of them.
Oh yeah.
Without getting like the blue and the red.
Right. One of the things I like about painting these, these guys are aliens, is it doesn't really matter if the inks blend together a little bit. Because it just gives them a more organic feel anyway.
Yeah.
But when you're trying to do cloth or something like that, it's a huge pain in the neck. As much as I like, or as much as I enjoy working at the store, I do often wonder what it's like to have a free weekend.
Yeah.
I don't work there every single weekend, but, like, I don't know. I guess I did get a few of those during the full lockdown, but maybe that spoiled me. Maybe that's why I've been thinking about it lately. These are all very cartoonish villains, more so than Sentinel Comics normally allows outside of guise villains, the idea being that they are indeed just acting as convincing to the New Kids Anyway villains, and when the chips are down / actual villains interrupt, are actually quite competent. Fair enough. Yeah, I embarked on my annual rewatch of Parks and Recreation this week, and almost done with it. There's only a few shows that I watch every single year. Scrubs and Parks and Rec are two of them. Many times I've tried to watch Happy Days and MASH all the way through, and I fall short every time. I own them all, but I've still yet to. I've never seen the MASH season finale or series finale because I can never get there. Is this done yet? Mostly. Oh yeah. Okay.
And that is Superboy washed.
Nice. So that's why I need a preposterously huge sheet. I feel like to do this character justice, I kind of need to stat out partially. Yeah, that's fair. Fair enough, RPD. Hey, Ian. Yeah, we're about an hour in, or hour and a half in at this point. I've been working on... It's not quite finished yet, but these guys. Still needs dry brushing and stuff, but... Wretches. I also got back late from a thing that my wife and I were doing, so I may have forgotten to post it in certain places. I don't know. Oh, excuse me. Keep screwing up their faces. Like, not horrifically, but just... Oh, God. Just enough for me to notice. No, we'll take care of it, but in the meantime, it's frustrating.
You know what just occurred to me?
What's that?
So we were talking about steel.
Yes.
So the classic steel, from Superman, is the John Henry Irons.
Yes.
Legends of Tomorrow, Nate plays it's Commander Steel, which was an old World War II.
Yeah.
They're different characters.
Okay. Because, yeah, I mean, they just call him Steel.
Yeah. But, like, yeah, in the show they may just call him Steel, but I'm, like, the character Nate Underwood or whatever...
Nate Haywood. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Was Commander Steel.
Right.
And with that, Steel is about done.
Nice.
Just gonna add some Evil Sun Scarlets to highlight the cape.
This is as convoluted a challenge as initiative character gets until it's time to finally do the long version of Fortunate Son's backstory. Fair enough, RPD. Oh, yeah. Okay, so Nathaniel Haywood is... Oh, okay. So he is the offspring of Captain Steel.
Yeah,
and
of
he
the original
became
one, yeah.
Citizen Steel. He's Citizen Steel.
Okay.
Okay. And he's, JSA. If you're not prying into anything of the how and why of Fortunate Son, specifically Challengers Initiative stuff, mostly straightforward. Stuff is mostly straightforward. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense, RPD.
Ironbreaker.
Oh, God.
You right?
Yep, just dropped my brush. Worse things have happened, I suppose. Paint spillages and whatnot.
It's really separated.
Oh, Ironbreaker?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does that. So does Runefang, for that matter. Seeing the viewer numbers tick up a little bit. Hello, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. It's our chill painting night. Because in today's world, we need a chill night. So we're going to hang out, listen to good tunes, and chill and paint minis. You know what I never did? Because I'm a dummy.
What?
I never updated the overlay. Like, I changed the overlay to not have Adam's stuff in it, but I never changed it away from Birds of Prey. It should say Superman. Superman? I'm going to do Superman ? Because it's not really, you're not actually painting Superman, you're just painting like Superman related.
I'm painting his duplicates from his death.
Yeah. Oh, actually, okay, I can just do Death of Superman then. Yeah. Gears of War and Death of Superman. Neat tunes, chill painting, and Adam's absence being a textual laxative on RPD. That's what tonight's about. Yeah. I love the concept. Textual laxative, new band name, I call it. That concept makes me laugh, RPD.
Okay.
Oh dear. Huh?
Hopefully my Ironbreaker will be good now.
I find that Ironbreaker, like, it settles really fast, but you can shake it up and get enough use out of it and then put it away again. Whew. Ugh. I'm well aware of the wordy mess my posting is when I'm being creative. Under the effects of textual laxatives, the best way I can describe it without using bad language words. That's fair, RPD. Sorry, I had tried to respond and I had a sudden bout of hiccups.
Because... Stay out of that box.
What the hell?
And with that, camera focus.
Come on, camera. I mean, we can mostly see it. Oh, there you go. Oh, yeah. That's sweet.
Not the best lighting in there, but it'll do.
Yeah. Gets the job done. In the immortal words... Sorry. Base coating is, in the immortal words of Jean-Ralphio Saperstein, the worst! When you're mass-producing things. Especially things that have, like, one giant area of one specific color. The problem I run into whenever I'm like base coating a large area with one single color on a bunch of minis is I forget to rinse my brush enough. Because I'm just like, oh, but I can just get this little bit more before I have to rinse the brush. Oh god, it's clumped. Huh. One of my oldest friends got married today. I had no idea.
So I found out today that in the TMNT test group that I'm in,
Yep.
for the one of the guys there randomly sent me a friend request when he saw like my Facebook profile had a picture of me and Jim Butcher because he's a big Dresden fan as well.
Yeah.
So at first we just started chatting about Dresden and some of the other things, then found out he lives like 20 minutes away from me.
Oh my god,
And
that's so cool.
We started play testing some stuff like in person now,
Nice.
which makes things a lot easier when you can bounce things off of people.
Right. Well, I ran into one of the citizens from PAX East today.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. It's nice to be able to talk to people face to face about things we hear on, things we see on Discord.
Yeah.
For fear of, saying something I'm not supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
I won't say anything more, but as much as I expect that we'll probably see a year without PAX Unplugged, I remain hopeful.
Yeah. SC Comic Con just got canceled today, so that was run by like my home shop when I was down in South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And it's usually in March, but they pushed it back to July, and then today they just fully canceled it.
Yeah, I'm starting to see that sort of thing trickle out. It's a bummer. Like, I haven't been to a proper comic book convention in quite a long time. Mostly because, Fan Expo Boston paid me to be there when I felt like working for them, and now I'm just like, I don't really want to pay to go to a convention that I used to be paid to go to.
Yeah.
I was talking to Alex about it. Like, if we weren't doing the Citizen thing, I could probably justify going to Gen Con because it is that unique of an experience. But it might turn into like an every other year sort of thing instead of an every year.
Yeah.
But not a thing we have to worry about. It's really nice to have a home at conventions too. Like, even before we had the side room, I felt like the booth on the show floor was kind of my home. I could pause for a moment in the hubbub of everything and just breathe. I guess we've always had the side room since I've been doing it, but like, it wasn't nearly the thing that it is now. Oh my god. All right. Okay. One more for base coating, for at least the skin coat. Oh dear. Dead bristle.
Sorry, Goliath, you are constantly getting in the way. You're moving.
Who is?
my Goliath mini.
Oh.
He's just massive, and he's exactly where I always need to reach over to grab some of my spare layer paints.
Yeah. Other than that, you can definitely look forward
And
to
really, it's just his wings that keep getting in the way.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'm excited about that new Defunctland RPD.
That's right. Not work too much, too little. Here you go.
Oh, sick. Oh, yeah, that is very, like, mid-90s Superboy. Just one insane decision. Oh, man. What's you posted the topic on this one, RPD, but I can't remember what it is. Was it Coney Island? Is that what it was? Is that what it's on? Yeah, okay, sick. Very exciting. You know, I was about to say I'm determined not to screw up this guy's face, and then I screwed it up. Why do I even think things, Mike? I shouldn't be allowed to think.
You are?
Because I am. Who was it that said that? Was that Asimov?
I think that was Rene Descartes.
Was it? Oh, well, no, I meant in science fiction literature. Sorry, I was about to be more specific there. Yes, I believe it was Rene Descartes that originally said it, but I believe it was popularly applied to science fiction literature by Isaac Asimov. But I could be completely off base there too. You know what's a fun thought experiment? This is something that occurred to me in grad school. Applying or viewing a specific set of creative minds as philosophers. So I did I was taking a philosophy class as one of my education requirements, or teaching requirements, and we were asked to examine a philosopher and how they what their worldview was. And I went to the professor, who's now a very good friend, and said, "Can I do Kurt Cobain?" And viewing the music of Nirvana as philosophy was just such a bizarre experience. It's almost, yeah, exactly, RPD. It was almost like, what was I going to say? I forget where I was going with that. Slippery little devils.
I do not know why I put that away, because I can do these two simultaneously.
Weren't the classic philosophers? Many of them were, yeah. Or in one way or another. I mean, and that was one of my arguments for using, taking, I guess, an unconventional approach to that assignment. Is, first of all, I was just sick of thinking about, Plato and Aristotle and other morons. But also I was just going through a giant Nirvana kick at the time, which happens about once a year for me. Especially a couple of years ago, I saw Foo Fighters, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is probably the closest I'll ever get to seeing Nirvana live." Dave Grohl, by the way, an astonishingly good performer, and far and away one of the nicest guys in rock and roll. Thinking about feelings is the thing you do in professional autism, so yeah, I'm more than ready for this. For more evidence, check my most recent discussion with Taffy and Chromanti and Adam's Games Discord. Yeah, fair. Incidentally, folks, if you want to see more painting projects from Broody and me off the stream, as well as actually, and more especially Adam, Comics Zone is the Discord to go to. We all post there. I would create my own Discord, but I can't run the risk of students joining it, because that would be a nightmare to try and police. A mosquito, my libido, yeah. Oh, sorry.
Me mo. That was probably one of the best parts of the new Muppet movie.
I love Beaker just in general. He is one of my top 5 Muppets.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like the barbershop quartet version of that song was just great.
Oh my god. Absolutely.
And then Jack Black just in the background constantly complaining about it just made it.
Oh, right. I mean, Jack Black, fantastic performer anyway. But yeah, no, he complements the Muppets extremely well. As does Dave Grohl, for that matter.
Yes.
Did you see the drum off between him and Animal?
I did. I was very sad that show only got like one season.
It's Comics Zone, COMIX Zone. Ian. It's Adam's Discord, but I hang out there. I'm a mod there. Eat drum! Eat drum!
No. Beat drum.
Beat drum! Beat drum! Alright, I think I'm finally done with the Rakarth flesh. Comic Zone is Adam's the artist for Sentinels of the Multiverse, the card game, and he draws the covers for some of the books for that world, as well as we have our general discussions about comics. There you go. Thank you, RPD. And movies and games and other things. What the hell are we listening to right now?
I have the Twitch channel muted right now, so
it's Metro. It's Metroid Prime. That explains why it was a what the hell moment. All right, what did I do? His feet.
Metroid Prime might be the only Metroid game that I've ever actually played.
Super Metroid was my jam. I love Super Metroid. I don't know if I have the right image up and not Facebook. It's one of only 2 people giving me a serious answer to a joke questioning about Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball.
What?
I'm not sure.
Wait, what are you asking about that?
RPD put something in there about it. I missed a bit.
What is this about? Oh.
I probably ought to switch to a smaller brush, but I'm lazy. Yeah, that'll work. Basically, when Paul was first streaming Sekiro, I joked at Adam, so when Sentinel Comics Extreme Beach Volleyball, and he actually answered, honestly, I'd love to see all the possible Sentinel Comics games. Oh, yeah. Oh my god, those Sekiro streams, though, RPD. Holy mackerel. I still think the best Paul streams so far have been the Conquer ones. Birdie Adams' brother streamed Conker's Bad Fur Day. He was claiming that it holds up and it's fine. Colin and RPD, or no, well, Colin and Adam and I especially, but RPD as well, were like, no, the game doesn't hold up. Like, it's fine, but it really doesn't hold up. And so Paul, in an effort to prove us wrong, goes live, does a bunch of Conquer, claiming that it's fine, like the whole time, like belly aching that it's fine, as he gets brutally destroyed by this game. And we were like, dude, you should stop. Dude, you should stop. Dude, stop playing this game. And finally, he kept ignoring us. And finally, he gets almost to the end of the game, and he's like, no, I've had enough. This is it. I'm done. This is ridiculous. And at that point, we were all like, no, dude, you need to finish this game.
You're right there.
You're there. You've done the thing. So he did. I mean, no, RPD, you're absolutely right. There were definitely times where we were we were very clearly trying to help him. Especially toward the end, I think. Oh boy. Oh, yeah. No, we were definitely... I mean, there were definitely moments we were trying to help him in Sekiro as well, but... Sekiro is brutal. which, if I'm understanding correctly, they drew some flack about. Which, fine. Games are allowed to be hard, people. That's just the way things are. That's why I enjoy, and you do as well, Broody. We enjoy Mega Man because it's difficult.
Yeah, I was actually just complaining to Casey the other week because we've been playing through one of the new Super Mario Bros. Wii.
Yep.
And I was complaining about how nowadays it's like I have to play through 8 worlds of nothing to get to like 8 levels of real Mario.
Exactly. Like, I adore Super Mario World. I just beat it again. I think I told you guys about it last week. Like, I had so much fun playing that game. Mario's just not that difficult anymore. And that game wasn't particularly hard.
Yeah.
But like, one of the things that I've come to really appreciate about Mario, as it evolves and becomes a more fleshed out product and a more fleshed out world, it becomes a more beautiful experience. And I think that's why I was left a little cold by Mario Maker, is because all people want to make is these ridiculous like Kaizo levels.
Yeah.
And I'm
like
sorry, but that's not
fun.
Right. That's not fun. Give me something creative, clever, cute. That's what I want to see out of Super Mario Maker. And unfortunately, there's plenty of those, but I would still say not enough.
I was about to say Casey had just got her new game.
Okay.
Called Bug Fables.
I've not heard of that.
It is essentially like the reverse product of like Super Mario 2.
Nice.
So, Paper Mario Sticker Star came out.
Yep.
And it was utterly awful.
Really?
Yeah. Like the game mechanic was just stupid and really hard to handle and anything. And this other company essentially just like ported it over and just changed it to be more like the original Paper Marios.
Huh.
And it's like almost the same game, but like different enough where obviously copyrights don't happen. But so instead of like badges, they just call the things medals.
Oh, gross.
And but it's all like bugs and things like that, and she is absolutely loving it.
That's awesome.
Because it's like everything she like wants in Paper Mario game.
Mm-hmm. Paper Mario is cool. I like that concept. I haven't played any of them myself. I've watched them all, but I'm really interested to see what this new origami one brings to the table.
Yeah, Casey's very excited about it. It's like it comes out like the week of her birthday, so
oh, nice.
Like I already like I sent it to my parents to like get her because they were like, what should we get her for her birthday? And I was like,
sure.
this
Yeah.
a million times.
My wife doesn't really do games. Once all the channel work that, well, supposedly Adam's supposed to be working on is done, I one of the things I want to use the channel points for is get my wife to play a level of a game, which I think will be really funny. She's agreed to do it. It was Faye's idea. I think it was Faye's idea. Someone's idea. And I think it was because RPD is not already in iffy enough places. What You didn't do anything wrong with my wife, to have offended my wife, rather. That I know of. I mean, maybe I'm just forgetting something important, but... Not other than just being a key enabler of all the other things. She wouldn't blame you for that, RPD. I always talk about how you're like Captain Reliable over here. Of all the mods on the channel, you're probably the one who actually earned his stripes proper, or, you know, the conventional way. Alright, first two colors down. Next biggest, I think, would be this one. Yeah. Well, really, I've said it a zillion times, RPD. It means absolutely so much to me that you're willing to watch us hang out here all the time. It makes the whole thing worth doing. I was thinking to myself this morning, like, I've said this a bunch. I make content to amuse myself and to keep myself on a schedule. But the fact that you especially tune in, and others, you've been here every week since we've started, or almost every week since we've started doing this. You know, it just means the world to us, and all of you that are watching right now, it's super good for you. Super. We are super grateful that you're tuning in. It really means a lot to us. I mean, I gotta be honest, man. I wouldn't say I've figured out the chronal gymnastics, but I have acknowledged that they are part of the meta of these streams. Broody, you know where RPD is from, correct?
Denmark or somewhere over there?
That's correct. Yeah.
One of those non-American countries.
Well, now.
Don't want to do this is hard. Painting the cape between the legs.
Ugh. Yeah, I hate doing that kind of thing. Capes are a nuisance. Like, no capes. Was it The Incredibles that did that? The no capes
Yeah,
thing?
Edna Mode.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, Alex and I used to paint together not often enough. I mean, often enough that we were working on a project together, but not often enough to do something like this. But you know, when I started this, it was just me trying to work through my backlog, and then Adam was like, why don't we just all paint together? And I was like, that's a great idea. So then we got Broody in, and it's just been it's a really good way to hang out on a Saturday, especially through this whole madness. There's an old saying that there's a saying that if a Warhammer or miniatures gaming player ever runs out of painting projects, they will die. So we're just trying to prolong our lives here.
Wouldn't we be shortening our lives?
Shh. That's enough out of you, Broody. The implication, of course, is that we keep buying more minis and thereby prolonging our lives.
That too. I enjoy spending my wife's money.
Well, I don't know what your take home is, but my wife makes a lot more money than I do.
Yeah, so. My wife makes about 3 or 4 times as much as I do.
Same, yeah.
She's an aerospace engineer, so...
Right.
And I'm a lab tech.
Yep. My wife is a pharmacist and I'm a teacher. So... much respect to what our respective significant others do. Casey was telling us last time we hung out that, about some of the stuff she was working on, and we actually got on the plane on the way home and we were like, I wonder if Casey did something with this.
Yeah, that's fun until you're telling your wife oh, I'm on this flight on the way home, and she's like, don't board that plane. That is a Gulfstream something.
Oh God!
They drop out of the sky.
Ah!
Thanks, Casey.
Oh God! Why would she tell you that? Thank you, Ian. I appreciate you saying that.
But yeah, she can look up my flight and see exactly what model airplane I'm flying, and she can tell me when we've had maintenance and all that stuff. And I'm just like, I don't want to know that.
that's no, God, no. I mean, to be fair, RPD, my buddy who's on disability occasionally makes more than I do. So teachers do not get paid anywhere near what we deserve. And I'm just going to stand up for myself there for a second.
Not at all.
However, I will say, at the end of the day, when I watch my 8th graders cross the stage at graduation, my job is very satisfying. I just remember something I promised to bring up a while ago. Yes, she has, but both of us did. We made a really bad error in judgment when we went to watch Thunderball. I'd forgotten just how bad Thunderball is.
Yeah, go watch it. What's it? Dang it! What's this? What's the not Thunderball one? Connery remade it.
Yeah.
It's not technically it's not an MGM Bond movie.
Correct.
Dang it! I was just talking about it with a friend. Now I can't pull out the title.
Yeah. Never say never again. Thank you, RPD. But we are moving through the Bond movies. We got another one scheduled for Monday night, I think Monday night, where we are moving into my personal favorite one, which is almost everybody's least favorite one. It is On Her Majesty's Secret Service. And the reason it is my favorite is...
You Only Live Twice?
Huh?
Did you skip You Only Live
No,
Twice?
we watched that one. We're further. RPD was asking because we're watching them all sort of in order. RPD was asking if she had fallen asleep to one yet, and I mean the answer inevitably was yes. She is going to at some point. She did. But while George Lazenby may not be the strongest Bond, the filmmaking techniques in read the dumb pun before it dumb I made what did that make the screening for your eyes only? Go to bed, RPD. Sorry. Now I've lost my train of thought. Oh, right. George Lazenby was probably the weakest Bond, but the filmmaking techniques in On Her Majesty's Secret Service were arguably some of the best of Bond movies in that era. Obviously, they've improved significantly since then across the board, but that's why I appreciate that one more than most people. So much that is to say that it is my favorite. Although, I cannot wait for the next Bond movie. Like, the world needs a Bond movie right now. If I'm being honest. Good Bond idea. When it becomes time for Casino Royale, you're going to fake the lady out and show her the 1960s one. No, because I adore Casino Royale. And part of that is Eva Green is a wonderful Bond girl because she's actually, like, strong on her own. I have not seen Kingsman. Okay, so that's actually an interesting story, Ian. So Mark Millar, when Jupiter's Legacy came out, did a contest for comic book stores to, like, do a certain thing, and he would come to one of the stores. And the store I was working at the time, Jetpack Comics, won the contest, so he showed up with Sean Gordon Murphy, who is the man, by the way. And they signed autographs all afternoon, and we were screening Mark Millar movies, and we had a great time. We went out for drinks with him later. And I had mentioned to the boss, my boss, Ralph, great guy, love him, that I had never seen Kingsman. And he's like, okay, I'm just going to plunk you down in the queue room, and you can just manage the line and watch Mark Millar movies all day. And I was like, great, that sounds wonderful. And then some S hit the fan, and I got reassigned to somewhere else. I think there was, like, nobody to run the register or something like that. And Ralph was like, just kidding, I need you to run register. And so I didn't get to watch Kingsman. And for some reason, I just haven't bothered to watch it since then. But grabbing Guinnesses with Mark and Sean was definitely one of the many highlights of my comic book sales career. And the fact that I don't know if it would still hold up, but um, for several years afterwards, Sean and Mark would recognize me at conventions and, say hi. I just haven't been to comic book conventions in quite a while. At least not big time ones that they're at. Mark Millar is fantastic for making stories for other people to make, ignoring anything other than the basic concept. Yeah. He's also an incredibly nice fellow. Like, he may be a little out of touch with what people want from comic books, but he's super nice, and we love him. But yeah, I got to go back and watch Kingsman at some point.
I really enjoyed that movie.
Is it streaming anywhere? Do you know?
Not off the top of my head.
Yeah. My problem with watching movies on streaming, like, if I'm going to watch a movie, I'm going to sit down and watch a movie, Like, I don't like to pause it halfway through. I don't like to, whatever. With TV, I can stop, I can restart, I can back up. That doesn't bother me nearly as much, unless I'm watching it for the first time. I'm very picky with watching things. I think that's why I get frustrated when my wife falls asleep. To my understanding, Kingsman was made as a form of protest to the direction of modern Bond. That would not surprise me. I don't know that Daniel Craig would have been my first choice as Bond, but I do enjoy his performance. My mom doesn't. My mom hates him. My parents, like, that used to be their thing. They'd go see Bond movies together, and she won't even watch him. Like, I have now taken over that responsibility to make sure my dad sees all the Bond movies. All right. But to answer your question about my favorite Bond movies, when I'm being on brand, it's probably either Live and Let Die or Tomorrow Never Dies. When I start taking myself seriously, my favorite is probably Skyfall. I love Skyfall. I really do.
Skyfall is really good.
So good.
I'm trying to think about which one's my favorite, and like I like a lot of them. I mean, old school, I do really like Dr. No.
Dr. No's so fun. Like, what a way to kick off the series.
And I feel like a hipster saying that, it being like the first one, or first one in like the standard thing, excluding the 1960s Casino Royale, but
right. Weathering. Yeah, there we go. It's looking solid. I appreciated the '60s Casino Royale. Yeah, yeah, I definitely did too. I mean, RPD definitely knows this. He and I went to film school. Like that's what I studied as an undergrad. I didn't do the teaching thing until later. So we definitely, like, as a class, we did a study in Bond. That was more just like us having fun than actually studying the filmmaking of Bond. But we did a lot of that sort of thing, where we would just get fed up with the curriculum and go watch something else. There's loops and things on this armor that I'm painting, or this like harness thing that I'm painting right now, that imply that the wretches are supposed to be like dragged in some way. Dragged, or, well, yeah, one of the two, right? Held back, I guess, is more what I'm trying to say here. They drag you. So to turn the tables a bit, what's your favorite Bond movie song? Oh, that's tough.
I might have to go with Skyfall for that one.
Skyfall's so good. I'm a little peeved, there's a word, that they are letting Billie Eilish do the new one. I'm like, what did she's no, she doesn't deserve that.
She hasn't earned the right to do a Bond film.
Right. Like, Adele was barely there. She knocked it out of the park, but, like, I don't feel like she's... I felt like she was, like, just barely worthy of... Because, I mean, you think about, like, Paul McCartney did one. Post-Beatles. You know?
Alice Cooper almost did it.
Yeah, Alice Cooper would have been dope.
He was supposed to do License to Kill.
License to Kill, yeah. Or they. Alice Cooper being the name of the band.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw Alice Cooper a couple of years ago. God, they're fun.
I've seen
Did one. Wait,
several
that's
times.
not probably a good example. What's that?
I've seen him several times.
Yeah.
Me and my dad used to go a lot. Like I'm a second generation. Like
Sure.
he used to listen to him in college and got me into it.
Right. Well, he opened for Motley Crue on the quote-unquote final tour.
Yeah, I saw him in that one. In fact, that was the one where I got the backstage pass to meet him, and that's where the picture I have
Oh, nice.
with him was from the Motley Crue tour.
I got to meet actually all 4 members of Motley Crue on that show. Nikki and Mick gave my buddy and me guitar picks, and Tommy had already chucked his sticks, but he gave us a high five, and Vince gave us a high five, so that was pretty rad. I guess it wasn't like a full on meet, but it's pretty rad. I did get to meet 6 a.m. That's Nikki Sixx's side project.
What's up?
I'm just noticing I'm starting to get sloppy. I'm not sure if that's due to tired or due to I'm just struggling with this model. Yeah, I'm not happy with this. I guess that's fine. How much would I say I've got left for the night? I'm running out of gas, honestly. I'd like to get the base coats down and the ink down. RPD. And then I can hit them with the dry brush tomorrow morning. If there weren't so many of them, I would be in a much better place. But trying to do 6 dudes at once is draining. Especially when they're exactly the same sculpt. How are you doing, Broody?
I'm doing good. I'm getting the wash on Cyborg Superman, so that would be it.
Okay. So you're wrapping up too?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're nearing the end here, RPD. I mean, I expect this show to go roughly 3 hours. Like that's what I figure. My aim is 2 hours for Zach Sucks at Games, 3 hours for this, 2 to 4 for Gear Up, and roughly 4 for Arkham. Although a couple weeks up until yesterday, we weren't hitting that for a while. I mean, we did. We had to force it.
That's too much light. Eradicator.
Hey. Very cool.
Yes, the wash is still drying in there.
Yeah.
And hopefully this will show up.
There you go.
There you go, Cyborg Superman.
Nice. Just got a tiny bit more to go here. Honestly, I think I'm going to have to do some patching here, so I'm not going to do the ink wash tonight. I'll do that tomorrow. Be a good break in between writing. But next week I'm on to the smaller groups, so I can churn those out a little bit faster. Alright, so one more topic before the end of the stream. We've talked about doing that is me giving a quick explanation of how Johnny Law fights, since I realized the Man Out of Time outline does not give any indication of that. Yeah, go for it. Good night, Ian. Have a good one. We'll talk to you next week. In both pre and post Oblivion, he's a gadgeteer, very much the whatever thing the plot needs variety, and his signature weapon, the Truth, the briefcase that contains his documents of all the conspiracy theories in his timeline, and conspiracies in his timeline, and has also built a variety of built-in functions from bulletproof coating, so it can be used as a shield, to built-in hidden gun to potentially other. That's awesome, man. Oh, cool. That's all. All right. I'm going to try and quickly throw the ink down on these. His time. At first, he's much more of a fighter, not being afraid to use lethal force anytime things go loud. Either gun variety or even a one-on-one using the briefcase as a bludgeoning weapon. As time goes on, he calms down a lot to becoming much more of an investigator. Nice. Like, the truth can practically do whatever the writer needs. Nice. Come on. In the Darkwatch crossover, you'll see it having a glider parachute function, and later he absolutely upgrades it to work as a Spider-Bot turret drone. Nice. I hope that makes the character... Yeah, it does, actually. RPD, I understand. I get that. That's cool, though. It's really cool. I like what you did with the briefcase. So I gotta be honest, these looked pretty rugged before I started inking them, but now I'm getting the heavy ink wash in there, and they look really good.
That's good to hear.
Yeah. I mean, they're supposed to look pretty disgusting, and I think I achieved that. But unfortunately, when you're painting something that's intentionally supposed to look gross, the paint job looks nasty until you get a little bit more advanced technique-y on it. Oops. He's definitely the most brutal character in Hearthstone. Sorry, RPD Heart. I'm focusing for a minute here. Definitely the most brutal for a long while, and probably the most messed up as a result of how bad his home timeline was. Like a lot of his lightening up post Brillion comes from him realizing that now that the timelines have been sealed off, his past can't catch him anymore. Yeah, that's an important realization, for sure. Last ink. Last ink of the night. Oh. All right. Whew.
Calling it there?
I think so. So the only thing left to do for these guys is dry brushing and a little bit of layer touch-ups. They are going to look mostly like this, which I think is pretty gross and disgusting. But they're going to be a little bit dirtier, courtesy of some technical. And I think that's going to do it. Man. I learned a thing or two today about making things look filthy. Like, these guys look awesomely disgusting. And it all comes down to Nuln Oil and sloppy painting. Like, I literally just painted sloppy. Yeah, I don't have my iPad on me at the moment. RPD, I'll see if I can trigger it without. There it is. Learning and growing. I'm once again just astonished at how much work Nuln Oil puts in to making things really pop. Like, here I was complaining about how sloppy I was painting, but like, it actually it works. It gets the job done. I'll bring those guys all back onto the tray here.
What?
Oh, my back is sore now. All right. Well, I think it's time.
Mongol done, or at least with the base coat.
Nice. Yeah, there we go.
Zoom.
Very cool. All right, so a pretty successful stream tonight. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I will be back on the Handelabra Games channel tomorrow night, and I will be back right here on this channel, 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday, probably playing some more Mega Man Battle Network. I think that's where I'm going to be at this week. And Broody will certainly be back next Saturday, probably be back Friday as well, because we're having trouble finding Arkham investigators. And Broody's been reliable, so yay!
Yep. Always glad to go insane.
All right, everybody. Have a wonderful week, and we will talk to you Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all of the above, I hope. Take it easy, everybody. Bye.